So the last video that I posted on my YouTube channel was me talking about walking the Camino de Santiago. Rather than running the risk of people thinking that I died, I decided, as late as it is, almost a year and a half since walking the Camino, I'm still going to post a little video to follow up on the experience. So I'm here, yes, I'm alive, and yes, I did finish the Camino de Santiago. In 2017, I walked the Everest Base Camp trek, and I didn't actually make it to the end. I got helicoptered. So I went into the Camino a bit open-minded. I knew that it was about the experience, not just the destination. But I did make it to the destination. I did complete my stamp collection, and I got all my stamps. So these are the stamps that you sort of get along the way. And then I got my certificate in Santiago as well. To get the certificate, you only need to walk the last 100 kilometers. So things have, you can approach it that way, or you can actually choose to walk the entire Camino. I wrote a blog called Call of the Camino where I break down a bit about what the Camino is and our approach. But in summary, my partner and I, Sim, we walked the main route, Frances, plus a bit of the north, and then came back to the Frances route. The north was really important to us. Simone's grandmother has links. She was, I think, heritage back in Bilbao, which is on the north. So that's why we did a mix of both routes. But also the north gave us really beautiful coastline views. In summary, to talk about the Camino, I can't really summarize it in one simple sentence or one way. So I'm going to say it is everything. It was everything that I expected. It was challenging, of course. It's going to be challenging. Walking up strenuous hills, rocky terrains, puddles of mud, days where there was rain and you had to slow down even more. The constant assault on your body, the fatigue getting to the end of the day and just collapsing, the challenges of living out of a backpack, using a few items like a few shirts and pants and then having just to rotate them and only having, one nice shirt, one nice pair of pants. Living out of a suitcase is always challenging, and not knowing where you're going to be sleeping at the end of each night. We did pre-book our accommodation, but it was still a bit of a lottery. Some accommodations were better than the others, but that's part of the thrill of it all. It was amazing. I loved connecting with people from all around the world, realizing that we shared this common humanity, even though people had different reasons for being there. We all were united under one cause, and I really loved connecting with people in a way where within a few minutes, passing a stranger, you could be closely connected. People didn't hold back, they wore their heart on their sleeves, and I really, really enjoyed that. And where they needed, they would help you out. And there were days where I just obviously hated being on the Camino. There were challenges like the cultural difference, challenges finding food. Towards the afternoons, you would arrive in towns and you'd find that siesta was on, so you had to sit in the heat waiting to get into your accommodation. But all these challenges were a part of it. Overall, the Camino is going to test you, but I don't think anyone goes into it thinking this is going to be a breeze. You're not signing up to sit by a pool and drink margaritas, although you will get sangria, you can drink wine. You're also going to be walking close to 800 kilometers through various terrains. It was a very transcendent experience. In Australia, we don't have things that are very old. Maybe, we have indigenous sites that go back a lot further, but most more modern constructions are 200 years old. But the Camino, you're seeing artifacts of civilizations well gone past. It was beautiful. Old ruins, cathedrals, the beautiful artwork. You are exposed to, I guess, a sense of spirituality. I don't identify as Christian, but I still felt in awe of some of the beautiful cathedrals. One of my favorite ones was in Leon. We walked past it quite often. The Camino also allowed you to just simplify life and have a break from the rat race. I really enjoy just not thinking about anything but getting to the next destination. Every day you would just follow the yellow markers and look for the signs, not just signs as in the arrows pointing where to go, but also the unexpected connections. One of my favorites is connecting on the first day. We met someone named Bruno, and he was another Aussie, but he also turned out to be from Queensland, which is where I'm from as well. And when I visited my parents last, we went and stayed with him. Someone else we met in the Meseta towards the end, her name's Holly. She's American, but she had been previously living in Europe. We connected, and then she ultimately had a plan to come to Australia. Now she's in Australia, and she's come and stayed with us. And I have to constantly remind myself, like, wow, we met in the middle of like rural Spain. So the magic of the Camino, I think, continues to unfold. And towards the end, when I was sort of thinking about what, trying to wrap the Camino up, one message that really sat well with me is that the Camino never ends. I felt a lot of pressure to make it have this grand conclusion, but yeah, when I realized, when I was told that the Camino never ends, it made me feel better, going like, I can still process this. I can still make up my mind about what it means and to make sense of it all. I think what I learned from it was that I can just do really hard things. I became more, I think, open-minded. It also, I guess, showed me different sides of myself, of how I handle stress and being out of my comfort zone, which admittedly my partner handles a lot better than me. I was a bit of a princess at times, but I think that was a real learning for me as well. I also was thinking about what, I wanted to get from the Camino, and as I got closer to the end, I was kind of putting pressure on myself to have this grand, outcome or realization. But what I honestly got from it was just to keep doing what I'm doing. And that was really, really assuring that I was on the right path. When I came back from the Camino, I did make some pretty big moves. I started therapy with Ricky, and sort of separated Boy Under the Bridge from my, emerging therapy business. All in all, if you're wondering if you should walk the Camino de Santiago, absolutely you should. I am biased, but it is a great experience. I really, really enjoyed it and just took it for what it is. Occasionally now when I go for walks, I do sort of catch, a bit of the magic. I think about walking will never be the same, and as much as hard as it is to get to sort of Europe from Australia, I know that I can just sort of hit the pavement outside, put on my shoes, put in my headphones, and sort of find that sense of freedom that I really enjoyed on the Camino. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. I will post some links to my blogs, but also some of the other content, which is about tips for the Camino and everything like that. There's no shortage of that out there. So that's why I just wanted to make this video a bit free-flowing, talking about my experience off the cuff. But yes, I am alive and I did make it to the end. And thank you for tuning in.